It's a pleasure, Robson.
Right, I've got a size 14 jig hook in the vise and a 3.5 silver bead, tan thread. I'll put the bead on and I'll put a little bit of super glue under the bead just to hold it in place. You don't have to do that, but it's just a thing I do. Thread. Put the waste off. We got right. Cock the lid on. You'll know 4 or 5 fibres. Are you tailing?
Thanks for the hook.
And I'll put one underneath just to kick them up. Then cut your waste off at the back of the bead. And then I've got some Glow Bright. That's number 4. Just cut your a piece off about 7 or 8 inches. And then tie that right behind the tail. And then just come up 4 or 5 turns. And then just put your little butt. Catch that in. And then just throw that to the back. We'll need that in a bit. And then I've got some UV purple. Double bit on. Slide him up. And if you just hold this thread, you go right just out the way a minute. Bring it up to the back of the bead. And then your tag you've left, just rib your dubbing. You'll only get 2 or maybe 3. Tie off your waist. And then you want a small CDC feather. Smallish one. And I've got a small Petagine clip, which I put that in. So we got him in the clip. CDC feathers in the clip there, in the table. You cut off the back on the stalk. And then get your clip. Can you see that? Drop him on there. And then you got your CDC feather in there. then cut your stalk off. You don't have to do this. You can just tie your CDC in if you wanted and wind it around. And then what I'll do, I'll split the thread then. Like so. Clip in. Up. And then just spin your bobbin. And then your CDC is trapped in the thread then. And then just wind. And as you wind, stroke your CDC back. Keep stroking it back. And then a touch more dubbing. And then just around the collar of the back of the bead to make a collar. Do a varnish. Finish. There. And then when the CDC gets wet, it causes, I'll try and do it for them, it causes like a case over the top of the, it's like a bubble in there. It'd be more like that when it's wet. Good fly, works well. Different names for it, but the Duracell fly. That's one. I fish regular.
Do you use him both for brownies and grayling, Tim?
I'd use that for grayling, to be fair.
Yeah.
I don't see why it wouldn't catch a brownie, but I'd prefer to use it as a. To be fair, I use a lot of pheasant tails for brownies.
Okay, yeah.
Mostly pheasant tails, and I use what's it called from Vineyards? They discontinued it now.
Body wrap.
No, I can't. It's this stuff. Layered fringe wing. That's it. But I think you might get some from somewhere, but I cut some strands of that, the blue, and I use that as a tail, and I do catch a lot of brownies on that. As just a normal pheasant tail with that in the tail.
Well, you can show us one just now if you want to.
Yeah, I'll show you in a minute. I use a lot of pheasant tails for that, really. For brownies, anyway. I wouldn't say it wouldn't catch a brownie, but
It's a grayling pattern, really.
well, yeah, more or less. You don't have to do this with a super glue. I'll just do it. It's just for.
Well, it's easy. It's done, isn't it?
It's done. Wind the thread on. I'll do a red tag. This is another pattern. You can use this for brownies, to be fair, if you wanted to. But again, I'll use it for grayling. Globe rides, same globe rides. If you take a piece, double it again. And then double it again, so you got 4. Then just beyond the bead, tie your what you've doubled and trebled, and work your way down to the bend. Cut your waist off. small silver wire. You can cut your tag off now if you want. Don't have to. We've got the wire, we've got our tag in. And then we'll use some, if I can find it. I've got some scruffy dubbing. Again, to be fair, there's not much to nymphs really, but tied most the same, most of them. And then just build a bit of a taper.
What's that, squirrel and rabbit mix then, Tim, the dubbing?
It's squirrel, it's scruffy dubbing, coral night. Yeah, it's a bit of rabbit and a bit of squirrel. Yeah, it's semi stuff.
Oh,
Quite
okay.
good. Nice stuff.
It's real buggy, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's your first dubbing, and then get your wire, rib him, open turns, catch him in. And then this is squirrel dubbing. That's another one, and it's got a tad of UV in it. On here a little bit. And the way I do the black, I split the thread. You don't have to, but I just find it flays out a bit better and makes it look a bit more. And if you get it's easy to split your thread. If you get your finger and your thumbnail, and just run it down, or even run your bobbin up and down like that. Hold it, yeah, your pin.
Is that one of Mark Petchin's sewing machine them?
Yeah. Yeah, but you don't have to really get that. I split the thread, a bit of dubbing, slides in the gap, slides in the gap, and slides in the gap. One more. There's not tons in there, but there's an, and then again, spin your bobbin. And then if you wind it, keep brushing it back. And then whip finish. Just a tiny little bit there, just to cover the thread. And then we'll, said before, I won't recommend this, using super glue. Whip finish. And then I'll get, if I can find it, I'll get a bit of Velcro. And there's a little red tag. That will catch brownies as well, but again, I use it mostly for grayling. That's just another simple. Any questions? No?
Very nice.
I'll show you, lad, one of them where I catch a lot of brownies on this. If I can find a hook. I absolutely love this hook for this pattern. I shouldn't be saying this, but it is a,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and it's the jig wave. It's got like the, I don't know whether you can see it there. It's got like a kink in the.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the hook, and it's a size 16.
16.
16, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's probably the size I would fish it all the
Yeah.
most of the time. Anyway. I've got a 3mm copper bead. Never really tied any bigger or smaller than a 16. That's the one I use most of the time, to be fair. And we'll get a. Some open. Find as well that the violet colour, it comes in two. It's pink
Oh,
and
okay.
but it's pink on the one side and blue on the other, but it is together, if you can understand that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll try and show you if I can. It comes on a sheet like that,
Okay.
and it's joined together, but you can get a pair of scissors. What I'll do, I'll just get a pair of scissors, lift probably, oh, you just have to, whatever you think you want. So when you've cut some off, it ends up like that, like you got a bunch.
Yeah, yeah.
Trim the ends square to start. So then if you hold your bunch on the top, pinch and loop, and just catch it there, and then work your way. So that's just slipped. And then work your way back to the back of the hook to bend. And then, same again, just whatever length you want or you think's. And there's your tail. This has been really effective, to be fair, for me. Then get yourself a pheasant tail. I have forgot some. 1 sec.
Red.
Yeah. Copper wire. Tie your copper wire in there. I just put one turn and hold it there for a sec. Otherwise, I find if you start to do too many turns now, you'll have a big fat arse on the end. So I like to taper them. I only hold them with one. Get yourself a couple of pheasant fibres, tail fibres. Hold them in. Just off with the ends. And then you only want to come halfway back down, back up, down. Just taper the body a little bit. Find your fibres. Just be careful because they will snap if they're not good fibres. just hold them in place with your other finger. You ain't going to damage them. Keep turning, touching turns. When you get to the back of the bead, tie your fibres off. And then rib it out in turns. And then, if I can find it, never used this colour before. I'm telling you, I'm well showed it. It's that.
Okay.
It's well, I don't know what it's brown really.
435.
It is number 435. Yeah.
Mm.
Just take yourself a little pinch. Don't be mine. There's your collar. That's been really effective on trout, and I don't see any reason to use flies too big. People think the fish can't see them; they can see anything.
Yeah.
When they can see a 22 at 100 miles an hour flying down the river, I'm sure they can see this.
What else would you have on the cast with that then, Tim? That's on the point, is it?
I'd use that on the dropper.
Okay.
If I was fishing, I'd put a thread fly on the point, which is that's 90% what I would probably use, to be fair. That's the thread fly. The one with I've done that before. That's just a copper bead, same dubbing, glow bright rib, squirrel dubbing, and a English partridge jackal. That would be on the point, and that on the dropper, and that one on the dropper.
Right.
That would be.
What size beads on that thread fly then, Tim?
3.5 or a 4 sometimes.
On a 16 again?
No, that's on the 14.
Oh, okay.
The dropper's on the 16. And then if I was fishing grayling, I would fish that thread fly and I'd put a shrimp on.
Oh, okay.
Or a red tag or a Duracell fly on the point. I always fish a 3.4. Well, it depends where you're fishing. 90% of the time, you'd have a 3.5 or a 4 mil or a 4, depending where you're fishing. Last week we used a 4.5.
Yeah, just to get it down.
Yeah, always the big on the. I always fish the big on the point and the small on the dropper.
Yeah.
That's just the way. It's everybody to their own, to be fair. No fast rules, really, is there?
No.
Probably everybody knows this fly. This fly's caused some arguments. This is a 16 Wide Gape Jig. And you can do this 3.5, 4 mil, 3 mil. I'll do a 3 on a 16. You could try this on a 3.5 or 4 mil. Try it on an 18 if you wanted to. I'll be honest, I use semis beads all the time. 'Cause I've found they don't tarnish. You get a lot of bit. I've got some in a box here that I've had from other places and they've gone tarnished.
Whose
we
beads are those, Tim?
Pardon?
Whose beads are those?
They're from Fastener.
How are they?
I wouldn't use nobody else's. That's not just because I know him or anything. I do like his beads, to be fair. This is a gold 3mm bead, 16 jig hook. We've got a bit of super glue, just hold him in place.
Tim, may I ask a question?
Thread. To be honest, I'm terrible for using the same colour thread on all my nymphs.
Well, you can't see a lot of it, can you?
No, exactly. So we got the thread, we got cock de leon tail.
Tim, may I ask a question?
Yeah.
You talking about like this pattern is good for trout, this pattern is good for grayling, and I can only see you switch colors a bit, slightly bit different, a bit more calm colors, a bit more natural stuff.
Yeah.
Can you say an overall for maybe trout, grayling, and or maybe chub as well? Which colors are the best combinations you fish?
I would use, Alois, 90% of the time natural colours for trout. Like mostly pheasant tails, and I change the colour around the back of the bead. I would use a glow bright, or sometimes a little tiny bit of bright dubbing, or that one I've just done that little with something similar to that, natural colours. In grayling, I just spice them up a bit with different colours. It's not saying a trout wouldn't take, a grayling wouldn't take that, because they do.
Okay,
But mostly I use pheasant tails for tread. Well, I'll do 90% of the time, to be fair.
okay, grayling needs a bit more bright
Yeah.
colors.
Like, see the orange beads, and most of these alloys in here would be for grayling.
Okay.
But, and then shrimps, I use loads of shrimps. Loads. On grayling, I'll always fish a shrimp on the dropper and a 3-point. Well, anything on the point.
Well, it's the most common food in the river, the shrimp, isn't it?
Yeah. If you go in the lug and come out with your waders on, I'm absolutely plastered in them, and
Yeah. The shrimp city down there, Tim, yeah.
I took my waders. I sat on the back of the van the other day and I was taking my boots off, and there was everywhere, all in my laces and everywhere, tons of them.
And how do you get the shrimps as I would say as heavy as these jig hook nymphs you tie? I've seen you tying shrimps as well, but you only used normal lead for it, and these ones are tungsten beads, aren't they?
Yeah, well, what I do, Alois, is put the point fly would be the weight.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I'll still put lead on me on my shrimp. I'll put 3 or 4 wraps of lead round them, layers of lead. So your point fly would be the one that's taking it down.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah, because for me, dropper sounded a bit more heavy, like point fly, you know.
Yeah, your point fly will be the one who's doing the work, really, and then your dropper flies, the catching fly, really. Not necessarily. If I was fishing on the D last week, and you will catch on the point fly, obviously, if the fish are at the bottom.
Have you ever had a double before?
Double hookup.
A double, one on the dropper and one on the
Yeah.
point fly.
Yeah,
Cool.
I done it the other week. It's terrible to land them, to be fair.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's not easy to land them, to be fair.
No, it's a pain, isn't it?
It's not so bad if you've got two small ones, if you have two decent fish.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a fox squirrel off a pelt, and I just shave it off and I put it in the blender just to loosen it up. It's only fox squirrel. So we got copper wire as a rib. We got cocktail tail, wide gape jig, and a gold bead. And fox squirrel's not the easiest stuff to dub on, to be fair. So what I tend to do when I shave it, I'll keep a lot of the underfur. Not a lot, but I'll mix the underfur with the guard hairs to make it stick a little bit better. It's
So you're
not
telling
easy.
me you're telling me right now that you're shaving squirrels. Now it's getting winter. It's getting cold.
Yeah, there's one in the garden yesterday with no skin on. But this is, it's not the easy. Fox squirrel's not the easiest. Dub your rope on. Start at the back and just taper it back up again.
Just imagining right now how a half-shaved squirrel is running around the garden, you know. I think I heard a story of a friend of us who shaved a rat.
Oh, Gwillem.
I don't know his name, but yeah, he shaved a rat and he used it as dubbing.
Yeah.
Just real famous, them mouse nymphs, aren't they?
Yeah, very, very, yeah. And then get your rib. And you want this to look real spiky. Tie your wire off. And then the collar is bright orange. And that's Spectral Dubbing 294. And then quick finish. And there's no need to rough that one up because it's rough enough. So we got the old grayling slayer. Good fly again. You can tie that in 16s, 14s, 12s. That'll work. And that will catch grayling and trout. That will catch both. That's, all you want to do, Alois, is make different patterns up. That's all you have to do.
You could try a purple collar on that, it'd work as well, wouldn't it, Tim?
Yeah, you can put purple on there. I'll do another one, Alois, I'll show you another one I use for trout. This is a 16 jig wave. Put my beads.
So even the red tag you showed us is more like a grading fly, or is it kind of 50-50 thing?
Which one, Alois?
The red tag.
That one I just tied.
No, you showed us your box, your fly box, and there were some red tag nymphs in it, I think.
Oh, red tags. Yeah, you catch trout and grayling on them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a a 16 with a 3mm copper bead. You could tie this in 18s. You could tie it in 14s.
And your tail is mostly Coq de Lion or Globe, right?
Yeah, most, yeah.
Have you got any substitute for Coq de Lion? If you haven't Coq de Lion at home, can you take a Schlappen too?
Yeah.
And then
Mallard is best, isn't it?
Yeah. What's it called? You know these alloys, when you keep the spares off these.
I am Malatak, yeah.
Mallard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just keep, when you've got the waist, just keep the waist for the tails. Tie your thread on again. We'll do a different tail alloys. We'll use this is just pheasant tail, and I've got 3 fibers. Hold them on the side, round, and then just pull them through to your length. There. Bit of copper wire. Actually cut the waste off. Bit of copper wire. The rib. I only hold my, when I'm putting ribs in, I only hold it with 1 turn of thread. I just, as I said before, it's just to say, to stop the arse building up too fat for the taper. Then get you another couple of fibres, pheasant tail fibres, tie them in, and then run your thread up. Cut away stuff. Your body up a bit. And just wind your body. If they come apart when you start winding them, I'll just turn them once with my hackle pliers, and then they get back into position, and then unturn your hackle pliers as you come round, and it keeps them nice and neat together. No gaps. Come up to there, tie off. And then your rib. I'll tie my thread off. This is a globe right from Textream. This is, it's not, it's half as thick as the one that we use from Lanyards. It's half the thickness. It's a bit better for smaller nymphs. So I'll tie that on there. And I've gone round now. I'll bring this one forward to hold in place.
Is that fluorescent as well, Tim?
Yeah.
Do you get it from Flybox?
You can get it from Flybox, yeah. I think them the distributors for the UK, and they.
I don't know.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I think they am. Yeah, I get it off Semi, but you can get it from Flybox. Yeah, it's like it's more of a thread than a as thick as the Globe, right?
got you.
But it's still fluorescent. Yeah, they got loads of colours. They got is that orange?
Oh, that's bright.
It's
the
quite a
chartreuse
few.
is blooming blind, you, isn't it?
Yeah. So then I just build a little collar there. Well, some people put varnish on there, but I don't because it changes the colour of it. So I just leave it. Sometimes what I'll do, I ain't done it just, but I'll just put a dab of super glue just to hold it in place as I'm tying off. That's a good trout fly alloys. That's just another pheasant tail. You do them in different colours. It ain't got to be. It's just a nice little pheasant tail. So right, I'll do some. I love tying them. It's my favourite flies.
They're so effective, though, aren't they?
Yeah. It's porcelainion. Yeah. All right, Paul.
Yes, mate. Hang on, hang on. Have I got my
You're right,
microphone on?
You're right.
Yeah, good, mate.
Hey, I've
Good.
got some of them things off you, mate. Paul.
Things. Oh, the quills. Yeah, yeah, nice.
Yeah, excellent stuff, mate.
Yeah.
I ain't used them yet. To be well, I'll tell you what. I've been tying some. I've been tying a lot of wet flies the last couple of nights,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been doing what you said, lifting it, holding it, just lifting it a little bit, and they sit perfect, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I've been tying with pigeon fat wings, wood pigeon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, tricky though, aren't they?
I've never used it, mate.
It's all right, but for wet flies, but it is. You've only got to touch them and then dead.
No, I've not tried it. I know there's a couple of boys that like it, but I don't know where you get pigeon wings from, apart from shooting them yourself.
I don't know where I had mine from, to be fair.
Mm.
This is not a jig up. This is just a normal. It is just a nymph marvelous, and this is a countersunk bead. Yeah, countersunk bead, and it's a size 16. Just a normal nymph hook. Red. Take the thread down. Small bit of cocktail on again. tail in underneath, kick it up a bit. Off with
You told me a few seconds ago, Tim, to use mallard as well. Isn't mallard a bit more like curved? Because the CDL looks for me kind of straight.
yeah, the mallard, you'll only have it short, so it wouldn't curve that much.
Okay.
Because you'd only want it short. It's just a bit softer. The cock lilion's a bit stiffer. That's all.
Okay.
Tim,
Yeah.
on the bronze mallard at the very tip of the feather, these about, I don't know, about a dozen fibres that are very straight.
Yeah. On these.
Yeah, at the very top.
Yeah,
It's
the
about
yeah,
a dozen that are very, very straight.
yeah,
Ideal for tails.
yeah. You only use the tips, always, to be fair. What we after? Silver one. Small silver wire. Tie this on the side if you can. This is can you see that body?
Body fluid. It's a bit blurry.
Body fly, and it's 100 denier. It's like a skin. You get that from somebody say fly box or something.
Yeah, yes.
You get that from there. It's like a quill, really. Body quill, and then tie this in, and then work your way up to the back of the bead. Then just taper your body up a bit. Just build it up the back of the bead.
You're still on 80 thread, Tim?
This is 80, yeah. You could use something thicker if you wanted to. They're only small flies, so. So we're there. Then get your body quill. It's called quill, but it's not a quill. I suppose it is a synthetic quill. And then wrap. Up. And you can go back down if you want. Just to cover it all. And this comes in all colours. Every colour you can think of.
Does it give a segmented look or not?
No. It's very thin, to be fair. If you pull it, it'll snap. Well, I wouldn't say it snap easy, but it stretches to nothing. So then we've put our body on. We've got our silver wire, and I'll come round the back all the way once, completely round, then rib. Tie off. Grab that off. So then again, I'll tie off. Right. Tiny bit of resin. How very often should we use this stuff? Yep. You got your resin on? Leave that now. 1 second. I don't put resin over it, it changes the colour on the thread.
You keep your flies very slim, Tim.
Yeah, they sink quicker. And then just torch that. And that's that little perdigan. And you can tie them. A good colour to tie them is just cock de Leon tail and black thread and silver wire and nothing else. And silver wire, black thread, and use the body as black thread. But that body fly, that comes in hundreds of colours. You can get orange, pink, yellow, any colour you want. You could use 2 different colours if you wanted to. You could use brown and rivet with the yellow one. That's just a little perdigan. Anybody got any questions?
Hello, cat.
Have a drink of pop.
What is your preference in colors of the beads, of taking maybe a gold one or a black one? For me, it's always the silhouette the fish can see, because the fish are standing on the bottom when they feed for nymphs or for insects in the water, because they kind of like tumble around in the water, and the better silhouette they have, the darker it is for me. The fish better can see to the sky.
Always, I used to use all different colours, and 90% now I use copper, silver, and gold. I might use black and natural tungsten, but for pinks and stuff like that, I think, especially on the D and places like that, there's no colour on the bead in an hour.
No.
You know, when it's
No,
bouncing
right.
off.
Yeah, it all chips off, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It don't matter how good the bead's, it'll chip off. If it's bouncing on the bottom properly all the time, it'll chip off. So I mostly use copper, black, natural tungsten. I'll see if I can find.
I won't understand these salmons that fast. These small salmon like trout and grayling.
Right.
And the big ones as well. How's it going, Paul?
I think he's on mute, Alois.
Yeah.
think talking about colours of beads. The one that I find really works well, and particularly for browns, is a really bright orange.
Yeah.
Just tied on a pheasant tail. But Tim's right. I mean, they don't last long. But I do see a difference between, say, a fluorescent orange bead and, say, a gold bead. For the trout will take the fluorescent orange more so. But yeah, copper is probably, for me, the number one for trout. I don't fish for grayling really, but for trout, I would say fluorescent orange and copper work best for me. Sometimes a black, especially on little tiny flies. But yeah, they do take one color over another, depending on, I suppose, it's light. You know.
Well, I'll tell you something, Paul, right? This is the truth. Believe me or believe me not. I never, ever fish squirmies, right?
No, not me, no.
And I was on the D on Saturday with Stu. And he had a trout, a grayling in a couple of minutes, nymphing.
Mm-hmm.
And I went round the corner and I fished this run and I thought, 100% there's got to be a fish in that run. It's got to be a fish in the run. And I put bead after bead after bead after bead through there, different weights, different sizes, everything, tried everything. I thought, right, Stu come walking up. I said, Stu, I've never done it, but I'm going to fish a square, mate. Give me a 4mm square, mate. Tied it on, chucked it in, whack. First cast. Anyway, I went on a bit.
You should be fucking ashamed of yourself. What's the matter with you? Huh?
Hey,
Don't drag
You
me
don't want to
into
catch
this.
fish that bad, man. Come on.
Don't drag me into this and squirmies.
oh, he's listening.
Ah. Oh man, that's desperation.
You don't know how desperate I get at times, Paul.
Oh, listen, mate. I get it. Yeah.
I'll tell you what I've got in my box for is every now and again, you know, when you go through the perfect run and you
Is that Foxy?
you know there's got to be a fish in there and they're just not taking it all, and you just like doubt yourself and you think, I can't see why there's no fish there. Put a squirmy on, first cast, usually it happens, and you're like,
Hey, mate,
okay,
I'll just leave them there.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you what though, it's unbelievable how that. Why they're not taking nothing? What, nothing at all?
Mm.
Guys, I'm gonna have to leave. Sorry, love you and leave you. Thank you very much, mate. Excellent,
Cheers,
Tim.
mate.
Speak to you again. Cheers now.
Okay.
Bye now. Yeah.
I thought that was Stu saying he's leaving then.
I've got to tie some pink squirmies up.
Do me some.
Oh.
Oh. Is it all back, Stu?
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
He did. He rung me in the week, but he said he was. I thought he was back the weekends, perhaps. I've got a size 20, just normal hook, not a jig hook, and a 2.5 tungsten bead, natural tungsten thread. Here again, cocktail on tail. Underneath. Cut away stuff. Copper wire. Take that. Then I got a mouse skin. A bit of mouse fur.
Did you cure it yourself, Tim?
No. The cat caught it. No, it's good fly. This is, to be fair. To be fair, Gullum showed me this pattern. He calls it the rat, but I don't know why it's mouse fur.
That's got to work.
It's deadly,
Yeah, looks buggy.
to be fair.
What
It's a
colour's the
lovely
beak, Tim?
It's a natural tungsten.
Oh, got you. 2.5.
You don't want them very big. You don't want them much bigger than that, to be fair. It's only a 20, that is. And
Yeah.
then just rib it with copper wire. And that's all that is. That's done. And that was Gwilym's rat, what he called a rat. And it is a good fly, and should use it more, but I never. That was the original rat what he tied, and then he done a Mark II, and all he done exactly the same. And he got some peacock
Earl.
that. You see that peacock?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he tied that in first, and then he pulled it over the bead, and then went behind the eye with the thread, and then that went over the top of the bead.
Mm-hmm.
So he tied it in, so it just
Like a
had
thorax cover.
yeah.
Mm.
And that was his Mark II. That was.
Did it make much difference, Tim?
Not as I noted. Not as I noted, man. I mean, his sunfly is deadly, to be fair. That sunfly he tied is deadly. On dries, that's deadly. I'll tie that next time, but it's a bit awkward, to be fair. It's not an easy fly to tie, to be fair. But it is good. But that's the rat. That's a good little fly, that is. That'll work, wouldn't it, Paul?
Oh mate, I'd fill my box with them.
It's only a mouse skin. I think I had it off Steve Cooper. It was about, I'll tell you, yeah, £4, and I've tied hundreds of it.
Yeah. No, that's my type of fly. Really is lovely. Just nothing
to it, really.
Mm.
It's a good little fly, that is. I remember I fished it in Bosnia the first year I ever went, and I was with Alex Jardine, and I had one of them on, and you can only use single fly, and it was a size 20 with a 2, it might even have been a 2mm bead.
Mm-hmm.
And I cast across, yeah, you cast across and they'd swing. I had a brownie on there. I hadn't been there. We hadn't been there an hour. I had a brownie, £5.
Mm-hmm.
So it just goes to show they will take small flies.
Yeah.
And they'll take things that especially on hard fish stretches, they'll take things they've never seen before.
Yeah.
And like really sort of dowdy natural patterns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like nothing, just like grey.
Yeah.
Or brown, you know?
Yeah.
Mm.
I like using heron earl as well. Just a
Yeah.
fibre of heron earl around the
That's
all.
illegal, Tim.
Huh?
That's illegal.
What is?
Heron hurl, having heron hurl.
Is he?
Well, yeah, protected.
Oh, this was off the riverbank. I found
I
it.
know, I get the same thing. Yeah,
It was one that molted.
yeah, I know. You know where they sleep, you know, and yeah.
Oh. But hey, I tell you, that stuff them quills though, Paul.
Sorry?
I sent for him on Thursday.
Oh, he's quick.
I think it might have been Friday, and Saturday morning they was here.
Oh, he's quick. He's really quick. And the way he packages them, there's no crushing going on.
Those in the box and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really good.
Paul, you know them haven't been shot, have they?
Yeah, they have been shot, but they've been sorted.
Mate, he must sort them. He must sort them good.
Yeah, well, he sells them mostly for like jewelry and
Yeah.
you know, those little cockades people put in their hats. And yeah. He considers us nuts, as in fly tires.
He must go through a lot of feathers to get them like that, doesn't he?
He does, yeah, he does. But the part of the world he's in it's the, you know, that they shoot ducks by the thousands. You know, round here the duck shoots might get 200 birds in a season. You're only talking 8 weekends, 9 weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah, but over, you know, well, it's a wetlands, isn't it, Norfolk? It's yeah.
Yeah. I got some. Here I've kept in my box. What you was on about? Just. I use the, well, Stu knows I use them on the lug for that's a little.
Oh, the orange head ones, yeah, lovely, mate.
Yeah. Just for
What's the body?
It's. I'll tell you now. It's a 20 jig.
Yeah.
It's a 2.5 orange bead. A little bit of cocktail on tail.
Yeah.
A very small silver wire, and then I've used. I might have only used one. Had pheasant fibre, black, dyed black.
Okay.
And then just a little bit of pink dubbing behind the bead.
That orange bead is my number one husk nymph pattern. Really is. I do a natural pheasant tail and a peacock hill thorax.
Yeah.
And then the only other variation I do, I put a flashback on some of them.
Yeah. That I tell you what, Paul, they're deadly this time. Like for grayling now, when the salmon are about spawning, and them orange beads.
Yeah, eggs.
Yeah, deadly. Just see.
Go on, do us a sunfly.
Sunfly.
Yeah.
Right, let's see if I can do one. I haven't done one for a long time.
Are we talking about baby sunfly or sorts rabbit and cockabaldi or okay, yeah.
Rabbit. Well, I use mouse fur as the body,
okay.
And then just. Hang on, Paul. Might not be able to. Let me see if I've got a gallo. Might not. If I haven't, Paul, I'll do it next time because I need to get.
Yeah, no worries, mate. No worries.
But hang on. I might. My gallows, look, elastic band with a paper clip on.
Oh shit, this is a complicated one. Hook. Tell you what I'll do. What I'll do, Paul, I'll do it on a big hook so you can see as well. Yeah.
Christ, that's massive.
Size 10. Well, it might be too big there, actually. at 12. So,
Do you think he's been polishing the top of his head?
hey, it happens to us all, Paul. It happens to
Hey, mate,
us.
look, if you got it, flaunt it. That's what I say.
Hey, us too.
I've got a big afro. I just choose to shave my head.
I know, mate, I know.
Paul is lying. Right. Thread down to the back.
So what sizes would you normally fish this in, Tim?
14s.
Yeah.
Mouse fur. What I've done, I put the mouse fur up there, then I've took my thread up over the clip, my gallow, back down, and then I've got that there now.
Yeah. Can you move your camera a little bit, Tim? You've knocked it away from the fly. That's it.
Yeah.
Fine, I can't. It's a creacle. And you want a bit of peacock marla. Try that in front of your thread. And then
Is that peacock a bit of a Gwillem trait, like?
yeah, he put it on because he said, this is the theory he told me. He caught nymphs out of the river when he was in his heyday and put them in a tank, and he watched the match, and he reckons when they come to the surface, they release an oil to dry off quick.
Hmm.
And that's what he reckons this resembles.
Okay.
So you want one behind the thread, your gallows thread, one in front, and then just bring it down to the front and tie it off. And then your hackle, wind up the thread.
Yeah.
And then come back down the thread. And you can do that. You can go back up if you wanted to.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Okay.
Stroke your fibres back. Thread over. It's not an easy fly to do, to be fair. And then we've tied that in there. And I'll cut your waste off. Hold all your fibres back and just put a tad of super glue on there.
Hmm.
Unhook your clip. Pull the thread down there.
Yeah.
Still hold on to that, and then just bring your thread over the top there. Pull tight. Pull tight. Pull tight.
And it's like a haystack type pattern. Yeah, nice.
And then just whip finish. That's a good fly to fish blind, that.
Oh yeah, I get that, mate. That's right up my street. That is. That's lovely.
And then just cut your thread off.
Yeah.
So you can do as much hackle as you want on it. You can make it. There's no tail on it, and it's just got. You see the unimiler underneath as well.
Yeah, really nice.
That's the first fly he ever showed me how to tie it. He wouldn't show nobody how to tie it. And he showed me twice, and I said, "Well, show me again," because he said, "Are you fucking thick?" And I said, "Just show me once more." And he showed me once more, and I had to go and sit and tie and tie and tie until I got it. It's not easy to tie, but it is a good searching pattern. If I don't know, as you have to use the Cree hackle. I suppose you could use a ginger or a brown or I don't know.
Yeah, well.
And it's just something simple. It's just mouse fur and a bit of hackle. But
yeah, very nice.
It works.
Tim,
Yeah.
have you covered most of that pearl, that peacock tinsel up with your thread at the front, in the thorax area?
It's hard to see really, but there's most of it is underneath now. Look.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
But that's what he told me. He reckons they released, like when he was watching them, they released an oil. As they come to the surface, they release a little bit of what looks like oil to dry off as they come. And that's what it's supposed to resemble, is that. But my gallows is just elastic band. I've got a clip, paper clip, a bit of elastic, and a spring, and I just took it over my light. And that's all I use.
Very good.
So that's that. I don't know where else to try, to be fair. Well, I ain't tried one of them for ages, Paul, to be fair.
I'm going to try those. I like the look of that. That's
Yeah.
I say, you can put as much hackle, Paul, as you wanted on. You can keep
yeah, sure.
and he just ginked them up. He just put a bit of gink on there.
Yeah.
I was telling Stu. I was telling Stu last week. He told me he designed that when he was in Czech Republic on a competition. I think he was fishing either the Worlds or something. He was fishing, and they was on practice day and they couldn't catch nothing. And he designed that fly in the room on the night or on the afternoon, and he kept dropping it in a glass of water, see if it floated, how it sits and everything. And his missus has had a drink, and I was telling some boys in the bar on the night, and he went fucking mad.
In the competition.
Oh, he was telling her. I was telling him how to tie it. Yeah. But, no, it's mad, isn't it? So we'll have to get you up growling fishing next, Paul.
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely, we'll get you up. We was on about it when we steered the other day.
Yeah.
Has he gone?
Yep. No, I'm here.
Yeah. We'll have a day. I bet the rivers are up down there in the Paul.
The last couple of days they have been. It's absolutely perfect right now.
Yeah.
And we were up the leaps tonight, and there's plenty of fish coming through now.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah, so all sat there drinking beer and watching them jump. But yeah.
Good on you. Yeah. It's I know. I think Justin texted me today, and he said that the rivers was knackered down there.
Oh no, this morning it's dropped about 3 feet today.
Has it?
This morning it was threatening to come over down at the town.
Yeah.
But tonight it's probably 3 foot back. Yeah.
Oh, fair play.
Mm.
Oh, dear. We had some rain yesterday though. Oh dear.
Oh yeah.
We had some serious rain yesterday. Hey, how about this? How about this for a team in the Annick competition? Lewis Hendry, Terry Bromwell, and Toby Merrigan.
Well.
Lewis probably wouldn't turn up.
Toby will fall in.
Toby will fall in.
Yeah. He loves swimming, that boy, doesn't he?
Oh, mate. I think he falls in everywhere he goes, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What time is it at?
8:30. That's all.
It's only 8:30. Oh, is it?
Try and nymph some of that Aaron Hill, Tim.
I shouldn't really, because it's illegal now.
You can't
you found
record
it on
that.
the river, it's all right.
You can't record that.
Right.
It is lovely stuff.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I've got it. I've got olive and everything, all colours. I've got. A bloke in Shallower, Paul. Give me about 3 years ago. He gave me I can't see it now. I don't know where it is. He gave me a swan feather dyed. So I had to cut it into pieces to get it back here. It's oh no, it's dyed like a real nice March brown colour.
Yeah.
It's here somewhere, but he gave it me to show. And he was a real good tyre, Paul. He was. I can't think of his name. He was from. I'm sure he was French.
Mhm.
And I was sat there watching him and watching him and watching him, and I said, "What? How'd you do this? And how'd you do that? And how'd you do this? And what's that for?" And he went, "Hey, you want to know fucking everything." He was a good tyre, he was.
Do you ever
I'll do
use
it on
McCaw,
mine.
Tim? Do
You what, mate?
you ever use McCaw?
I have got some here, yeah. I do sometimes. I have got some somewhere.
I'll give
I
you some,
think-
I'm sure.
Did you give it, mate?
Yeah, I'll give you some.
Yes, yeah, I have somewhere. Paul Lawrence had some as well. He used to tie loads with it, Paul. Did you love it?
Yeah, I'll give
Yeah,
him some as well.
Did you?
Yeah,
Oh, that's where it's from. Yeah.
but it does make nice nymphs, doesn't it? Especially if you can keep the yellow.
Oh, yeah, if you can get the yellow colour on. What am I doing here? So that's trying to find some hooks. I use a copper 3mm and a size 16.
I like your Harrow and Hurl dyed in Pickwick.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Gets a lovely olive. Yeah.
Yeah, proper
Oh.
pick brick. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Mm.
I think, is that it? Like that, Paul?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who give me that? Steve Cooper, give me that, yeah. You give me that. Right, we got a 3mm copper and a 16 Wide Gape Jig.
You never put a layer of thread under there, Tim?
Under the bead.
Yeah.
Now, I used to, but I just super glue them on now, and then I'll leave them just sit there like that. If I get the big beads, if you get 4.6 and a 5.5, it's very, very hard to get a hook to fit in the. I'll see if I can show you. If you get these massive hook, like this is a 5.5. This is, and you would never find a hook to fit in the slot on the hole.
Oh, wow.
What I do, well, Terry showed me, Terry Bromwell. He cuts, if you get you don't do it in the house, but get some panel pins and just cut them in half, so you've just got the bit of the head, and then when you put it on the hook, just shove that in and put some resin on it, and they stick in there then. But it's very hard to find a hook that'll fit them. I don't know why, but the slots are massive compared to the for what we want them for. Right, thread. Copper on there. Is Paul on here tonight from Worcester?
No.
Oh.
No, wrong, Ad.
No.
Got a cock the Leon tail, and we'll put we'll get some copper wire. And heron. I'll tie it, well, I don't know whether you know, but I'll tie it in with the dull side to me so you get the segmented. Get you in there. It's only the same as pheasant fibres, really.
It really is a lovely material.
The thing is that, yeah, the heron earl, you get more of a segmentation, don't you, Paul?
I don't know what it is. It's, I don't know, just something I like about it. It's lovely on dry flies as well.
Yeah, on the duster, yeah. Brilliant.
If you do a sort of wing wet with a dun tail, heron hill body, dun hackle, and a duck wing, it's just like just so natural. Like it's lovely.
I never thought that. Oh, I'll try that. So using heron hill body.
Yeah, dun tail.
Yeah.
You know, grey or brownish dun, and you know, heron body, copper ribsy, and a wound dun hackle, and just wings. It's just lovely.
Yeah, I can imagine of it. Yeah.
Nice skinny wings.
Yeah. I've got copper rib in there, and then we'll pour. Look at this. I'll try a bit of, see what this looks like. We'll try a bit of mouse fur. Mouse fur would go well with it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you ever use peacock herl for the thorax?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not as often as I should, but I should use it more, really, yeah.
Looks nice, Tim.
That's nice, yeah.
Nice and natural, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the more you fish, the more you think, when you first start, you think, oh, tie this, tie that, tie this. And there's no need for it, really, because the more natural they are, the better they are in the pool.
Right, that's right.
And I think simple flies
easy,
is easier.
simple, nice materials.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah, it's nice.
Nice, yeah.
it probably looked better on that jig wave hook, to be fair. On that, I would think anyway.
Tim, could you do another one of those Duracells?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll do one, mate. Right, size 14 jig, 3.5 silver bead.
Was the original a silver bead, Tim?
Pardon?
Was the original one a silver bead?
No, I think it was.
I don't know.
I think it was gold. I think, Paul. I think it was. They change them all the time, don't they?
Yeah.
Old Terry's flat out again, tying, isn't he?
Good for him.
Yeah, he's back at it. He's all right, Terry, if he'll keep away from them lot, and if he keeps himself to himself, he's all right, Terry. I like Terry. A good angler, isn't he, Paul?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Very, very good angler. Feed, thread. About 6 fibres of cockdillion. Around the tail. Kick it up. Cut your waist off. And we need some glow bright number 4. Again, it ain't got to be glow bright number 4. You can use different colour if you want. And then just tie that in at the back of the tail. And then just come up about 3, maybe 4 turns. And just throw your thread out the way a minute.
Right. Go on.
And then come round
Go on.
with your glow bright 3 times. Go back down twice. And back up once. And then tie off. Just put 2 turns on it. And then just throw that tag back at the back for a minute. Just cut the waist off. And then we got purple rope. And then just hold your tag out the way, pull it back. And just come up. A little more. Yeah. And then your glow bright tag got your left there, bring that back rib. 3 turns. That's all you'll get. You can do these in a 16 if you want. This is a 14. Cut your waist off. And find yourself a small CDC feather. I've only got this clip I'm using is it's the miniature one, and it's hard to put the small CDC feathers in if you can see that. So what I do, I'll lay it on the table. I get a piece of copper wire or silver wire, and I'll push down so it pushes the feather into the clip, and then just cut your your two ends off. And then swap them. Swap the clip from there to there. And then cut your stalk out.
What thread are you using, Tim?
Uni. To be honest, Paul, I've used a lot of uni, and then I've had to load off semi Textream thread.
Yeah.
It's quite good, to be fair, their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I like uni thread.
Yeah, me, it was, yeah.
So you split your thread, put your CDT in, and then spin your thread. And then just wind and just keep stroking them back. Got to there, and then we'll put another small amount of purple dubbing.
Before you wind that, Tim,
Yeah,
right, get your whip finisher
yeah.
and whip finish without winding that. Right, go on.
Whip
No,
finish.
put the dubbing back on. Have you?
Oh,
Yeah, put the dubbing right up against the hook.
yeah. Ah, got yeah.
Put your whip finisher on
Yeah.
and whip finish. That's it. Now pull it out. You'll never have a thread collar ever again.
Ah. Hey, I've learned something tonight.
The bill's in the post. The bill's in the post. It's expensive.
Anyway, oh, you're enough as it is. No, that's a good fly. That is that. I use that on a point, and I will tie it in 16s for the dropper as well. And that'll catch your trout and growling. To be fair,
I've heard it's a really famous fly, isn't it? I've never fished one, but perhaps I should.
yeah. It's I'll be honest. If you put it in some water and the CDs, you get the CDs at the right length. It looks lovely.
Mm-hmm.
With the it looks like a bubble round it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's no rules whether it's got to be purple dubbing or what dubbing it's got to be.
Yeah.
People change them. There's flies all the time, isn't there?
Does work though, doesn't it? The fish seem to like it, don't they?
I think when you're fishing as well, some days you just put some of it on out your box and you catch a fish and you think, oh, I've cracked it, and then you won't catch another one for an hour or two.
No.
You change your fly, you catch another, you think, oh, that must be what I'm after. I was going to tie a square me, but I'll leave that for Stu. He's gone.
Anybody got any questions for Tim?
No, I think so. All well explained.
I do enjoy it.
Oh, very good.
I'm just doing. I was going to tie wets tonight. I don't know whether you can see them. I've just tied all these, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
They're all labelled ready. They're going to go in a frame, and they're all. I've tied every one out of George Barron's book.
Oh yeah, hence the pigeon.
Yeah. Oh, some of them honestly have killed. Well, I wouldn't say they've killed me, but
They're not
the one I
easy.
did, the one I did last night was this one. Oh God, it drove me mad. I don't know whether you can see that.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, yeah.
That was I've done them now. I've done this. There's 13 there, and I need 12. So I've enjoyed trying them. To be fair.
Yeah, differently.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah, it's a really nice fly too. Well, it's like Anthony, Paul, the wings, you either get them perfect first time.
Or
if
you don't
start-
worry about it.
Yeah, if you
Just
start
get 'em on
messing
there.
with them,
Yeah.
once you start messing or undoing, you can forget it, can you? Because you just get worse and worse and worse.
Especially with soft stuff like that pigeon. Yeah.
It's I like tying wets to be. I like tying anything to be fair. I will have a go at anything to be fair.
Yeah.
I enjoy it's just practice as well, isn't it, Paul? If it goes wrong, it goes wrong, and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not, you know.
You know, none of us are perfect, you know, except
No,
you.
no. No, it's just well, I just enjoy tying flies. As simple as that, really.
I do. I said to Stu the other day, I said Paul's got to be one of the neatest. I've seen a lot of tyres. I think you're probably one of the neatest, nicest tyres I've seen. To be fair.
Oh, thanks, mate.
No, I mean that. That's for some of you flies I've seen them absolutely stunning.
Just OCD. That's all it is.
Yeah. I think most of them. I think all fly tyres have, though, isn't they? Or majority of fly tyres. That's how you get like that.
Yeah, you know, like with, you know, if you, for me anyway, if you're, you know, sort of interested in tying a style of fly, yeah, the way my head works is like, I'll do the research, I'll read about it, I'll find guys that I think are superb at it, I'll write to them and ask them about it, you know, and then I'll start to practice. So yeah, and just keep going until you think you've got it somewhere near, and then, you know, then you start asking the same guys, what do you think, you know, and you sort of build it up, and it doesn't happen overnight. It never ever does, you know. It's months of work and lots of materials. You just, like that little pack of feathers you got there,
be gone in a week.
You know, I don't know, you might have 20 lefts and 20 rights or whatever, you know, that's 100 flies perhaps. And, you know, out of that 100, you might be happy with 20, you know, but those 20 you'll be really satisfied with, and you'll learn a lot. Like, how did I get those 20 out of that 100? And you keep going back at it until, you know, until your fingers start doing what you want them to do, you know?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing as well, I think is people being honest with you. Like, I ask you things and you'll say, oh, shit. Well, not shit, but I think that's wrong or that's wrong. And I appreciate that, because I think that helps you more determine. I tried to fly once when I first started, and I was absolutely chuffed to death with this fly. And I sent a picture to Gwilym, and I said, what do you think of that, Gwill? And the reply come back was, it's fucking shit. And I thought, oh, he's checking the piss in there, you know. I said, what's the matter with it then? He said, oh, that's too long and that's too short and this. But that's the only way to learn.
Yeah.
It's no good somebody telling you it's good if it's not good.
Yeah, and there's ways of telling people, you know. It's
you know. Yeah, I mean, I'll ask you sometimes, and you'll say, "Oh, the tail's too long," or that you try this way or do that way. But you know, it helps.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the guys that helped me early on, were, you know, like real gentlemen about it, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, I remember tying boxes of flies that I thought, well, you know, they were the best I could do at the time, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was proud of them, you know, and then I showed them to, and, you know, they obviously weren't that great, you know, but the help I got was always like constructive.
Yeah.
And I always remember that. I always remember that. So whenever anyone asks me, and I always try and
Help
be
on, yeah,
really constructive about it.
Yeah.
Rather
Yeah.
than going, like being
Yeah.
flippant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing worse. There's nothing worse than someone telling you like something that you've put your heart and soul into.
Yeah.
It's a pile of shite.
It does sicken you, doesn't it?
It would finish you. It'd be like, oh, fucking hell, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
He can. That's what happened to Lee Edwards, wasn't he? I mean,
I don't know, mate.
when Lee started and he was asking me things. I said, "Oh, yeah, that try this, try that." And then some of them idiots were said, "Oh, you fucking idiot, you flies are shit and this, that, and the other," and it knocked him sick, didn't he?
It's not good.
He packed the lot up.
It's not good, And you think, yourself, the amount of time you invest in doing what you do.
Yeah.
The amount of practice, the sheer amount of input you put into it.
Yeah.
There's so many people out there that don't.
Yeah.
That have got an opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes those opinions can be quite harsh.
Yeah.
Based on not much knowledge or not much experience or certainly no practice.
Yeah.
And I find that pretty offensive, and I see it on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I it's
Strong,
there's someone really trying to do something that and it can be knocked in. It could be knocked in a sentence, and anyway, I think it's wrong. But
yeah, I do, to be fair. But
yeah, it's only bits of fluff on a hook.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the same with fishing, Paul. It's the same with fishing.
Yeah.
Me and Stu always say this: you go to enjoy yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And meeting people and sitting on the bank and talking some days is as much as catching a fish.
Absolutely. No, it's a lovely way. You know what? It's been the most consistent part of my life.
Yeah.
And so there's guys who fish longer than me, but the one consistent in my life has been fishing from child to now. Yeah, it's something I've always done. It's something that I've always wanted to do. It's something I've always want to do. The people I've met, the experiences I've had, it's been wonderful.
I always say that. I think the people I've met, I've met some really good friends.
Yeah.
Really good friends. Yeah.
And the other part of life is work.
Yeah.
For most of your life.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, Derek, Tim, thanks very much. I've got to go out, okay?
All right, Mark, you take care, Mark.
Yeah, Mark. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Mark. Take care.
Bye.
Gentlemen,
Yeah.
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These flies that, shall we say, don't come up to standard, do you strip the hooks or do you bin them?
I'll strip the hooks sometimes. If there's beads on, I'll strip the hooks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I strip the hooks too.
Yeah. I wouldn't say everyone, but 90% of them I will, yeah.
If they're salmon hooks, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
They're not-
expensive.
They're not cheap.
Yeah.
I've got a jar, one of those big old sweet jars, the ones you used to get in the sweet shops, the big ones.
Yeah.
And every one I don't like goes in the jar.
Yeah.
And when it gets, sort of full, I give them away. Like I give them kids down on the river. Because I'm bailiff on a couple of stretches here.
Yeah.
I just give them away. So I take the jar out and give them a handful of flies and stuff. But if it's salmon hooks, then I'll strip them. Yeah.
What's your preference for salmon hooks, Paul?
Well, there's only one really, and that's partridge. No matter what you say about partridge, they're really the only supplier of hooks that are acceptable in UK waters in terms of tires. People have fished them. They're also, well, they are expensive. They're about, fucking £8 for 10, something like that, But Tim and myself are both on the Partridge Pro team, so I get them at a reasonable price. They're still not cheap. They're still not cheap. So the other options are RX. Yeah, they're even more expensive. Mustad, they don't sell them much in the UK. Osprey, Vineyards, they're good hooks.
Well, some people reckon they're made by Mustard.
Pardon me?
Some people reckon they're made by Mustard.
Who?
The Osprey.
Oh, it's quite possible. Yeah, it's quite possible. I mean, Mustad are the biggest producer of salmon hooks in the world. Just are. And I wouldn't be surprised if RX were Mustad. Certainly, some of the Partridge are Mustad. But yeah.
You don't know who makes what these days.
Pardon me?
You don't know who makes what these days.
Well, I'll tell you for a fact, there's not many people that sell hooks that make hooks.
No.
VMC in France are a huge producer.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many repackaged hooks are made by VMC. Mustad are huge, massive. And TMC in Japan. So Varivas is another one. Varivas, they make a large amount of trout hooks.
Yeah.
But you could email any, you could go for any of the brand names, send them an email and say, who makes your hooks? And no one will answer you. But I'll tell you what, most of them won't say we do. Yeah. So
there's not many people who make tippet, neither is the Paul. Most of them, there's only a few factories make tippet.
Varivas is the biggest.
Yeah.
And they make for Rio, or they make for, well, whoever, but yeah.
It's amazing.
Guys, I've got to say good night, Joe. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye, Andrew.
Bye, Derek. Bye-bye.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
We're talking about leaders right now. I don't know if anybody of you knows Stroft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I tried a lot of Stroft stuff, but the Varivas is kind of new to me, and it's quite good shit. Yeah, sorry, but but I tried a lot of Stroft, and as I maybe told you before, I came from spin fishing, and I had a lot of snags with a tri-line from Berkeley.
Yeah.
And I always tend to park my flies in the opposite tree, and everybody gets his fly out of the tree except me, because I'm using Berkeley. And then I took the Stroft ones from the guys, and then I really broke the bench, the branch, you know what I mean? The small whatever. And yeah, since now I'm using Stroft, and snags are no problem no more. So